At the will reading, my billionaire grandfather left everyone millions of dollars. I received only $50, not 50,000. Not a symbolic gesture wrapped in emotion. Just a crisp bill slid across the polished table like an afterthought. My father's lips curved into a quiet, knowing smile. My brother Ethan laughed openly, not even trying to hide his amusement. Someone muttered, "Figures." I said nothing. I stared at the money in my hands as the room seemed to tighten around me, because my grandfather had never been careless. Not with business. Not with people. And this felt deliberate. When I tilted the bills under the harsh office light, I noticed something strange, a tiny mark near the serial numbers. Almost invisible. Almost meaningless. But my grandfather once told me, if you want to hide the truth, put it where no one bothers to look. That memory refused to leave me. My name is Hazel Carter, and in my family, I was never the one people expected much from. Not because I failed. Not because I was irresponsible, but because I was quiet. While Ethan learned how to dominate conversations and turn confidence into power, I learned how to observe. I listened more than I spoke. I noticed things others missed. My parents praised Ethan's ambition. They described me with softer words, sweet, easy, low maintenance. What they really meant was that I wouldn't cause trouble. My grandfather William was the only one who saw past that. To the world, he was a billionaire titan who built an empire from nothing. To me, he was Grandpa Will, a man who drank black coffee, disliked noise, and believed silence revealed more truth than words ever could. When his health began to fail, the family visited briefly. Always busy. Always distracted. I stayed. I adjusted his pillows. Read the newspaper aloud. Listened to the same stories without correcting him. One evening, he held my hand and said, "You're not afraid of silence. You're afraid of being invisible." Another nig. He whispered, "Money doesn't change people. It just removes the mask faster." I laughed then, not knowing he was already planning something far bigger than I could imagine. After his death, the funeral was polished and expensive, just like his reputation. My family played their roles perfectly. No one stood beside me. No one asked how I was doing. I overheard whispers about estates and assets. At the cemetery, as the coffin was lowered, I felt the loss of the only unconditional relationship I had ever known. A few days later, an envelope arrived announcing the will reading. I didn't expect anything, yet a dangerous hope flickered inside me. In the lawyer's office, my father received $5 million. My mother received $3 million. Ethan received $2 million. When my name was read, the lawyer said calmly,
$50.
Laughter broke the silence. I felt heat rise in my face, then drain away, leaving me cold and steady. I took the bills and left without a word. Sitting alone in my car, I examined the money again. The marks were intentional, numbers lightly underlined, placed too carefully to be random. My grandfather hated loose ends. If he wanted to leave me nothing, he wouldn't have bothered with $50. Unless the money wasn't the inheritance. Unless it was the key. An hour later, I walked into the old bank my grandfather had trusted for decades. I placed the bills on the branch manager's desk. At first, he looked indifferent. Then his expression changed. "These are verification sequences," he said quietly. "And you're the only person who could have brought them." Behind a secured door, he opened a private deposit box registered outside the will, beyond probate. Inside were documents, gold bars, investment portfolios, and property deeds. Assets worth over $30 million. On top lay an envelope with my name written in my grandfather's handwriting. The letter explained everything. He gave me $50 so I would see who laughed, who stayed silent,